Hey, what's up, you guys? The Dark Side here back with another video, and today we're going to be taking a look at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Batman Hush 2 Batman. Before we get started, I'd like to ask you guys if you feel so inclined to please like and subscribe. It really does help my channel and is absolutely free. Check out the packaging over here. It's pretty much what we've come to expect with the McFarlane Toys branding and packaging as it is. It's got that black and white kind of design going on over here. You can see in the insert there is a collector card and a base as always. They are kind of attached to the background of this, so if you end up removing it, you're going to ruin that background. So I choose to keep them in there. You know what the typical collector card and base look like anyway. DC Multiverse Batman, you got 22 moving parts at the top, McFarlane Toys 12 plus. At the side over here you got Batman Hush 2, DC Multiverse, McFarlane Toys at the bottom. The other side, the window box continues along DC Multiverse Batman, along with the DC Universe Infinite QR code right there. So if you want to check that out, you can probably scan that. And the back up here, you got a nice big image from Batman Hush 2. This is the wonderful Jim Lee artwork. Yep, so Batman Hush 2 at the top of there. McFarlane Toys, you got a bunch of other information about DC Universe Infinite here as well too. And at the top, you have the window box continuing along. And the bottom, you got a bunch of legalese along with the UPC code. All right, so Hush 2 Batman. I'm going to be honest with you, I have not read Hush 2. I don't really know much about it other than the fact that Hush comes back and Batgirl is involved in some way, and that, according to some fans, that this is not an accurate suit to the Hush 2 comic. I believe the accurate version had the yellow oval bat signal instead of this design over here, which is more reminiscent of the classic original Hush design. And you know what? I think that this design over here is the best design for Batman in comic books. You can go ahead and tell me if there's any others there that you think probably beat it. I would probably say this or the same within the same comic where he's got the black and the gray instead of the blue and the gray, but the blue just brings in color to the character. You know, it makes it look more interesting and visually appealing, at least to me. And just Jim Lee's artwork as well too just is such an iconic look for Batman as well. Like the most iconic picture I can think of for Batman when it comes to comic book art has to be that one where he's standing on the rooftop and the cape is flowing. And that, of course, was from Hush. So really cool design for a figure over here. I absolutely love that McFarlane went ahead and did this because they already kind of did do a Hush figure way back when. I never ended up picking that one up, unfortunately, but I'm glad to see it here once again. But you know, the figure itself is great. He does come with a few accessories. So if we want to take a look over here, we can see that he does come with 2 batarangs, and this is pretty nice. You can hold them in his open hands over here. And with that being said, he does come with 2 open hands. They're like semi-open. They're more of like grabby hands, so you can have them holding the batarangs in each hand. And then he does come with 2 fisted hands. Now this is a bit of a different design from the other gloves, so you know they're kind of mixed and matched, so it's not going to be accurate. I would suggest, you know, either wearing both fists or both open hands on it, as the one has the bit of the armored knuckles and the others do not. Talking about the figure itself over here, and I do think that this is a really well done Batman over here. Is it the best McFarlane Batman? That remains to be seen. But anyway, I do have it for comparison today because, you know, I'm sure a lot of people that are going to be getting this figure want to know what it looks like in comparison to old Hush figures. And this is the exact same body buck over here. It's just a different edition of the figure. It was the all gold one from San Diego Comic-Con last year. But it does carry the same sort of design and you know, when it comes to sculpting and such, with the original Hush figures. So for this comparison over here, one of the biggest differences is obviously the wired cape, and with that you can see that there's a bit of an odd alignment going on with the neck to the chest area here. So that's one thing to note. And then the other big one too is that this was originally molded on this bat signal, and this one is not. This is printed on over here. Now, you know, it's up to you. I do think that this design is, I do prefer this a little more. Other than the neck, I do like the fact that it comes to the wired cape and that this is printed. It's more similar to how it looked like in the comics, because in the comics it wasn't really, you know, it was kind of like stitched like within the like it was printed on within comics. So this I think looks more accurate, in which I do like. But the head sculpt here is pretty much the same that you've seen with all other Hush figures in the past. And yeah, it's a great head sculpt. You know, it really does showcase Jim Lee's artwork very well. But yeah, the wired cape over here, this is like, it's kind of a weird design going on here because this is like more like paper, like it almost feels like, I don't know, like cardstocky in some way, which I'm not a huge fan of. We've done some good ones in the past. For example, I have this New 52 Batman over here, and this one is a bit of a lighter cloth material. I think I would have preferred going with this. I do like the shininess of this, but yeah, it's very thick, you know, and doesn't really look as great when you're trying to pose it. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But anyway, the rest of the sculpting over here, it is pretty much the exact same thing that you can expect with all the other Hush figures. So nothing too new going on over here. But the colors are so nice on this thing. I like this a lot. The blue mixed with this kind of color gray, and then this kind of like tannish kind of color for the belt. Looks like it was ripped straight out of the comic. I absolutely love it. And then one thing to note with the cape over here too is that it is black on the inside. So blue on the outside, black on the inside. I don't mind it. I just think that this stitching here kind of looks a little bit odd in contrast to this. But that's just my opinion. You got the trousers here, which, you know, are typical Batman trousers. They don't look too bad. You got the legs. And with the boots over here as well too. So, you know, it's nothing really new. It's just kind of a repaint. You can see the two pegals at the bottom of there. Kind of a repaint of just, you know, older Hush designs, but this time with a cool wired cape. As for articulation, if you have any Hush Batman like body figure, it's pretty much the exact same thing. You know exactly what to expect. So head can move up about that much. It's not so great. Can move down pretty far though, but then you got some weird, he's got some weird stuff going on over there. I don't know. He's got a bit of a hump in his neck. He can tilt to one side. He can tilt to the other side and spin it around. Pretty nice. He's got an arm joint over here with the sort of like butterfly joints, so it can move around a bit. Can move it up, can move it down, up, down, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, which move in about that far. And you get some wrist articulation, which is a swivel and a hinge. Mine doesn't really want to hinge. Okay, there you go. So it hinges as well too. And then you got a diaphragm joint along with the waist joint in here. So you can move them together to get them down. Not really that great. But you can get them back about there. You can get him this side. You can get him that side. So yeah, you can work with it. You can get some pretty good range in there. And then obviously this cape does have a bit of posability as well too, as there's a wire going throughout it. So you can pose it as you please, and there'll be some cool action poses that you can do with it. Legs over here, you can kick forward about that much. Can kick back in on an angle. You can do the splits once again with those dreaded joints over there in the hips. And then you do have some knee articulation, which goes in about that far there. And then you got some ankle articulation, which is down, up, pivot, and a toe hinge. As for comparison today, I do have Batman next to other Batmans. So these are the three sort of main kind of McFarlane Batman molds, if you're not aware. So there's the Hush book over here, which originally came from the Three Jokers figure. I unfortunately don't have that, but you do have the Nightfall buck over here as well too. This is the No Man's Land Batman from earlier last year. So you can see how those kind of scale together. And then obviously you have the Rebirth, but this is the new 52 version of that figure as well too. So yeah, this is the thing, right? Like it all depends on how you look at your Batman. I do think that the Hush one is a little bit too tall, but I do also think that this Rebirth one is a little bit too short. So kind of like a good in the middle, I do think, is the Nightfall buck. If they did the same kind of design into the Nightfall over here, I do think that would be my ideal McFarlane Batman. But at the moment, just the Hush Batman is so iconic, and they did it so well over here with the coloring. I do think that this is the best McFarlane Batman to date. Maybe not necessarily the best, but the most iconic. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite Batman buck is, though. And as for just a bonus comparison over here, I do have it next to my Godzilla 2-pack Superman, and I did change the head on it because that one was a screaming head. But this is my ideal Batman and Superman over here. I absolutely loved how this mold was for the Superman. I believe this came from, what was it? Was it Crisis on Infinite Earth Superman? I think that's where it came from, but it came into this Godzilla version, Godzilla 2-pack for Superman over here. And I do think that, yeah, these are the two most iconic designs for me. But let me know in the comments below which is your favorite Batman and Superman from the McFarlane lineup. If you did want to compare this figure to some figures that you have at home, you can see over here that he does stand just over 7 inches tall. All right, so final thoughts on this Hush 2 Batman. I think this is great. McFarlane has done hundreds of Batmans at this point with their time with the DC license, but I'm glad over here where the McFarlane DC license is coming to an end that they got to the iconic design for Batman. This was obviously done originally with the original Hush Batman, but I do think the coloring over here is better than that design. As I did think the gray was a little bit too much. It was too dark on that original design over here. This I think is the most, accurate to how he did look in those comics, and just like the pre-52 era of Batman, which as I said before, I feel is the most iconic. So I am very happy with this. It's entirely up to you though if you want to pick this up. It's yeah, if you have that original Hush Batman, I probably wouldn't get this one because it's very much a reissue of that. I do like the addition of the wired cape on here, although I do think that the cape that they picked was shit. Just yeah, not to be too harsh on it, but it is. I don't like the material that they picked out for it. It's like I said, it's like some cardstock kind of feeling material. It just doesn't feel nice, and it also makes it difficult to pose with other figures as well too, as this figure is a giant as it is. So, but the figure itself entirely is really great. I think the sculpting overall, maybe not the best on the articulation side, but the sculpting really does emulate the Jim Lee design for Batman. And I do like the fact that it does come with a few extra hands, albeit the extra hands do not match. That you can't mix and match them. Because one is the armor design as opposed to the other. But you know what? It's good. This is good for McFarlane to have come around back to this figure and to put it out there because I do know that original Hush Batman is getting up there in the price. Yeah, it's a welcome addition. But if you have that original Hush Batman, or if you don't really care for this Batman design, then you could probably pass this figure up. So with all that being said, for rating, I think I would give this figure a 7 out of 10. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you think about this figure? What do you think about my review? And let me know what your favorite McFarlane Batman figure is. I'm very curious because there's so many of them. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. And as every YouTuber begs you to do, please like and subscribe. And hopefully, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.